When Godzilla died, Dagon and Godzilla Ultima 1954 lost another alpha. But what they did not expect was that Godzilla was the father. He ended up having a son named Heisei Goji. Heisei Goji blamed Dagon in Godzilla Ultima 1954 for not helping his father, or not even considering on saving him. Because of this, Heisei Goji developed a hatred. He developed a hatred for the two other Godzillas. And eventually, Heisei Goji started to grow. He started to grow up. He continued to grow until he became a full-grown adult. When he became a full-grown adult, Heisei Goji started to challenge Dagon first. Surprisingly, Heisei Goji put up a challenge for Dagon. And eventually got Ultima 1954 as well. These three Godzillas ended up battling each other to death. But not all the time. They had their own kingdoms, their own respective territories to protect. And this was when the three great kingdoms were built. The three great kingdoms were built. They were created by the three Godzillas. Heisei Goji was the king of the north. All the creatures, kaijus, dinosaurs, dragons, titans, and demons were royal to him. Dagon was the king of the south. All the creatures were royal to him. And Godzilla Ultima 1954 was the king of the west. And so, the humans that lived in those areas worshipped their Godzillas as their rulers, their kings. And of course, not all the time the three Godzillas had each other to fight. One day, eventually, Kaiser Ghidorah came with his massive army and he threatened to kill everything. But eventually, he was stopped by Dagon and got Ultima 1954 and Heisei Goji. With their combined powers, they managed to defeat Kaiser Ghidorah. No, they didn't just defeat him, they severely wounded him and caused him to go into an asteroid and leave Earth. And that was when his younger brother Tingador took over as the new leader. And he was actually kind of hoping this would happen. The reason why was because Legendary Ghidorah wanted the planet for himself and for his army. You see, Legendary Ghidorah and Kaiser Ghidorah didn't really get along. And the reason why Legendary Ghidorah tagged along was because he wanted to see if the Godzillas could kill, if not give his brother severe wounds. And of course, they did. And now, with him gone, Legendary Ghidorah can now take over and rule the Earth Invaders. So he could become the king of this planet. But of course, his plan failed, but with some success. Unlike Kaiser Ghidorah, his plan always failed. And so these attacks continued and continued. And one day, Heisei Goji was patrolling his land until he met Inuyasha's father, the Great Dog Demon. He and the Great Dog Demon became good friends. They became allies. With the Great Dog Demon being the strongest demon out of them all, he feared nothing. But he respected Heisei Goji very much. He respected him and worshipped him. But of course, not everything turned out perfect. But one day, a tragic event happened. And that event was the death of Godzilla Ultima 1954. He died by the hands of Legendary Destroyer, but not before his son. And before he can destroy Godzilla Ultima 1954's kingdom, Godzilla Ultima appeared. He appeared and stopped Legendary Destroyer by killing him, leaving nothing left of Legendary Destroyer. And just like that, Godzilla Ultima became the new king of the West. And the Great Dog Demon saw this whole battle and reported it to Heisei Goji. Heisei Goji couldn't believe it. He also couldn't believe the fact that Godzilla Ultima 1954 actually had a son. And it wasn't before long until Dagon's death would happen. But that won't happen until another 20 years. And so Dagon, being the last great Godzilla king left, he decided to have a son of his own. So he decided to find a mate. It wasn't before long until he found one. He met Victoria, the mother of Godzilla. At least, legendary Godzilla. Yeah. He met Victoria, legendary Godzilla's mother, and together, those two had a son named Legendary. But of course, King Ghidorah came and killed Victoria, and Muto Prime killed Dagon. After Legendary defeated King Ghidorah after a few years later. And now, there were 3 new great Godzilla kings. But eventually, one of them was bound to die. And that one was Heisei Goji. Heisei Goji knew that he was not long for this world. But even though knowing that he was not long for this world, he decided to at least want to protect this planet as long as he can, and eventually settle down and have a son. So his son can take over as the new king. So, Heisei Goji ruled for years. He ruled until the events of 1995. When the 1995 incident happened, Heisei Goji died, leaving only his son, Final Goji, who became Heisei Goji's successor, the new king of the North, and proven to be even stronger than his father. His final words has saved his kingdom from many threats, even battling an entire army of monsters by himself. He was known as the greatest king, even surpassing his father. And it wasn't before long until he met a half-demon and a priestess. And that half-demon and priestess was none other than Inuyasha and Kikyo. He met them. He became close friends with Inuyasha, just like how their fathers became good friends. And for those of you who don't know what happened to Inuyasha's father, he died by saving him and his mom when Inuyasha was just a baby. So,